builds, but I think when the killer is as strong as something like a Billy is, like, people aren't really going to take risks with, like, okay, well, we're just not going to run perks or anything like that. Like, no, it's a hillbilly, you know, everyone's going to have something. You have immediately found the No Mither survivor, but you go for a very aggressive lunge, able to make it happen. The No Mither makes a lot of sense. Billy is a fantastic slugging killer by playing even just one survivor with the No Mither. You kind of eliminate that threat. But then the killer will bring along something like Thanatophobia as well, so there is like a permanent hit to gen speed. Fun fact from our lovely German backstage, we had Light on Cowshed in the win circuit of this year, and Team China ended up achieving a 4K5 in the first round. So definitely some history on this map. Maybe not history that Dub would like to know, because so far this chase with Ethel has been rather one-sided on the survivor side.
Yeah, I feel using those palettes so well. I actually watched that 4K5 by the way. That was a crazy match. And oh my gosh, that vault doesn't hit. That was a same ping to same thing. I believe we are two EU teams here. And this is a continuing chase towards the shack. I think a lot of pallets already got dropped near the shack. However, we are going to be heading back there regardless. There are still a few pallets up. And yeah, Ethel just playing so well here. I think Shack Pallet going to be dropped now. Yeah, there's the Shack Pallet coming down. We are going to be kicking it, just clearing out the resources here. And continuing chase. I would expect a gen to pop soon though, Hector.
I feel like this is the moment, like, Dub is still committing to Ethel right now, right? I feel like this is kind of a moment where maybe you just cut your losses and go away, you know? Ethel has a fantastic setup over this corner of the map, and you leave, but might be a bit too late, you know? I feel like these survivors, because this shape's been so good, they're just working maybe 3 separate gens, like 2 have already popped. Would not be surprised to see a third one. Also, Matt, unfortunately not getting the stun that you quite like, but still going to make a lot of distance over to the cowshed itself, and you should be able to get to the window here. No, actually utilize the firecracker, and that throws off Dub enough so that you don't get the dash off. Oh, this is a disaster right now for Sirenia. This is not the start that you wanted at all. We're getting like 2 minutes into the game right now. There's no down, there's not even an injury. Well, there's one, but, you know, self-inflicted one at that. And the survivors are still juking, and you're able to pass back into the window, and a third gen pop is going to be blocked with crowd control, so surely be able to get the down onto Torso Man here, but there's so much, like, scenery and debris on this map, and the stun as well. This is Dub's horrible, awful, no good day, and I feel so bad right now.
Yeah, these pallets, so many pallets on this map. Oh my goodness, I forgot. And also, some extra pallets have gotten added recently onto the Cold Wind maps, but this is going to be once again a chase onto our No Mither survivor. We've dropped our Dwight. That's crowd control blocking the window there, but we do still have the pallet in this gym. Ace kind of sneaking in a little bit, trying to get some progress on that gen. I wonder if that's going to be a consequence there for him. But no, we do have another pallet. We are going to be heading towards the Harvester now. So it's going to be a down. No, he dodges out and crouches to avoid that chainsaw. He's going to be taking an M1 here towards this pallet gym. Sorry, not pallet gym, jungle gym, excuse me. And this is a very good chase by all of our survivors. If this was a 2v1, we would be adding the time quite well here. And there's finally the down. A very good snipe. I think Ethel was not prepared for that one, but yeah, no Mither not really even mattering, as that was a chainsaw down. Maybe that's why they committed a little bit too long at the beginning to Ethel, just because they were a one-shot, but the survivor's just playing this so well. And Dub having a little bit of a difficult time. I don't think he can tunnel here. If he tunnels, I think no Mither DS a very common combo. Very likely, and yeah, he's just going to be going for a fresh, trying to get the best result here, which I think is a good idea.
It's about cutting your losses, right? I just think, like, that last matchup was so close, with that being Payne's pick. Now we find Torseman around the corner, actually. Dub, you have a bit of a window opportunity here. Never mind, the last gen's been completed. You don't have an opportunity, but it's not like you can really save against the build, at least not with any amount of ease. So, for Dub right now, you have an interesting decision to make. Do you pressure out these exit games, or do you just camp Torso Man to death. Because you can do that, and it would be perfectly fine and viable. You would get 2 extra stages, but why not work for a little bit more? Or even do something relatively clever here. Wait for the unhook, and then, of course, utilize your speed to get right back to it. Maybe even catch out 2 survivors if you're a little lucky. But also, we can't be doing things like this.
The gate is being opened directly behind him. Ethel wants to take the chase here. Ethel wants to take the chase because they are already hooked. Killing them would result in a 4-stage, which is a pretty good condition for the survivors, at least. So Ethel with the dead hard just in Dub's face, unafraid, but this is a fresh here. Boz is fresh. Laurie Strode vaulting the window slowly to avoid the crowd control there. Very the dangerous perk, but I think doesn't matter too much in the end game. And another fresh stage running in Dub's face, by the way. That will be a fastball on the window, so crowd control does block it here. But crouching that chainsaw, oh my goodness, and Ethel will be trying to take the down for our fresh stage survivor towards this gate here. Is this gonna be a 4-out, or are we gonna be seeing a 4-stage maybe? Aw. Okay, that will be Kabji going down. And taking maybe just the fresh, and kind of content with that given the rough start. I mean, that's not even a bad result given that long first chase they had, I don't think.
I want to see exactly what the okay, they are just gonna get it. Okay. Like, honestly, I don't blame it. I thought that Torso Man would have been completely dead earlier, but Dub, of course, wanted to fish for a little bit more. Did turn out to be the correct play. You do get 3 extra stages. You total of 5 stages and 3 fresh. Like Cowshed, I could yap about esports forever, but I will stop myself and save it for some more downtime, because we're going to be going into the matchup with Kopje on the Billy. And it's going to be Dub's turn to be the No Miner survivor and take an immediate chase at the Cowshed itself. Of course, the exact same build's going to come out, so survivors have to be expecting the crowd control, even though it likely would have been cooled down, or at least partially expected by the last set of survivors. Of course, it's going to help a little bit to have just the fast knowledge of, okay, well, even in the very first chase, even in my very first vault, is there anything I can do to play around this?
This is a curvable tile. This is definitely a curvable tile, but Dub doing a very good job of dodging out that chainsaw. Everything rests on their shoulders now. This first chase in the previous match came super long, and now I think, oh, are we gonna be getting it down now? Dying near the edge map pallet. They are the No Minus survivor, so maybe if we get a save here under the pallet, that would... Okay, never mind. No save coming through. We are gonna be seeing the first hook of the game on Dying Cleanse now. Which is pretty good for the survivors if they manage to find the other totems, but still the other 2 totems remaining in the trial. I think crowd control didn't get too much value in the previous match, but we'll have to see it now. Ruin definitely will, and we do see, I think, who is this here? We aren't even in chase with anyone yet. It's either a Jake or an Ace. It's a Jake. Okay, Otako taking chase at the main building. This pallet had already been dropped earlier in the trial, and I don't think this window got blocked by crowd control. I think Dub kinda dodged out a little bit, but maybe going back to the hook, trying to secure a bit of pressure, maybe even a second stage onto Dub. We do see the survivor lurking for the pull here. So interrupting that pull there is kind of huge.
Yep, definitely. Moon still going to be taking this chase, having to do a really good job of things for the time being. And we're able to get over to the cow tree, but we do end up eating an M1 on our way there. Kopje is in a really good spot, not just to control the hook, but also to control the unhook via Taku, and to control anyone else who might be in the vicinity. It's also, of course, right next to the totem, so that's going to be basically uncleansable for the foreseeable future. Of course, whether that's the thing Undying went down, so whether that's the crowd control or the ruin, rather yet to be seen. Going over to the Cowshed itself, where we have found the bell. Remember, Kopje only needs 6 hook stages here. So going for fresh hooks, not bad in the slightest. Could even take 5 hook stages and 4 fresh, so no problem at all going for all these separate survivors. Going for a lot of crazy curves, might as well take advantage of it while we do have that overdrive active, especially with the speed engraving that iridescent add-on. But things are going to be just fine for the survivors. Eventually, you're going to force a pallet break.
Yeah, break zoning over there. Very good play by our Billy player. And a second totem does pop as well. That's Ruin gone. Crowd Control, the only totem remaining in the trial. But this is a chase onto Ace still, and we are kind of at the corner of the map. However, this pallet will be dropped. The last pallet in this corner, Kopje not able to angle correctly to get onto that pallet, but Fel did a good job of staying alive here. And with this window being the only oh, he's actually gonna leave here. Okay, he's actually gonna leave our Ace. Ace was a little bit cornered, might have made a little bit of distance, but Dub now taking chase is kind of an M1 down here. I think this pallet here was dropped earlier in the match. He has to find a pallet fast, but I don't think he will. There's no pallet over here, and that will be... He knows he has Dead Hard. He knows. Yeah, we're mirrored. We know that the No Mither player has to have the Dead Hard pick, right? So Kauchi is waiting out for a while, trying to get the M1, and how long can you wait, right?
Back in 2019 all over again, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Guys, flick your camera up to bait the Dead Hard, get behind the survivor, and then stare at them for 4 seconds. The gems are kind of flying by, so probably has to be a little bit careful. A hook and a full camp onto Fel will be fine, and you know, really nice curve there. I feel like you could just put Fel on the hook right now, but I also don't disagree with the decision to take Dub out of the equation. If you get yourself into a 3v1 before the final gen is even completed, then it is a given that you would get your 6 stages, right? You would just sit by an exit gate for the entire game, should you so want. There's the Dead Hard coming out from Dub. Buys a good amount of distance. Of course, it was... You called earlier quite very correctly that it will be the No Mither survivor, and Kopje, of course, knows this. Now Dub has to make something work over this filler, which is about 50-50, wins the first one, but not the second, unfortunately.
Yeah, we know there's no decisive strike on the No Mither player. So he will be taking that kill, trying to get a 3v1 as soon as possible. Yes, he could have definitely taken the stage onto Fel and just gotten a fresh stage, but I think we are going for the best result, which I kind of respect. I always like when you have a slightly easier win condition, and we are going for the best we can do. And we do see some blood over here. This is going to be an injured survivor. They're all injured, of course, but this is going to be Claudette at this edge tile, and yeah, she will be going down at the edge of the map, not even choosing to vault the window, but this is the Tycon, I believe. Gonna be kind of difficult to get the win here from here on out. Even with that gem popping, it's a tough ask for our survivors, as I mean, all you need to do is face camp technically if you really want the win, or get one more down. But yeah, Billy managed to hook next to this high progress gen, so we do see not too much progress on the rest of the map. We know this is the highest progress gen on the map, and Jake now taking chase. Will this be a down?
Not yet. Kopje, unfortunately, hitting a card there, which is not the most ideal thing in the world. So actually just going to return back over to the hook. I'm doing the maths in my head. I'm not a mathematician, of course. Oh yeah, no, you can count Moon to death here and win. Yeah, that'll be 6 stages. You'll be completely fine. But obviously, Kopje recognizes the survivors know this, and I think they're going for an interesting play. They're trying to have one survivor bait Kopje away from the hook, so the other one can actually come in and get that save. The survivors had a really tough win con to work with, but honestly, I feel like they've been doing a lot better than expected. I feel like they've been really doing their damnedest right now, but Moon is going second save. There is nothing that can be done. Kopje right now is moving like a butterfly and stinging like an RPG, basically.
I have never heard that one before. Oh, this is going to be a down onto Fel. Yeah, Fel going down over here. I wonder if we're going to go back to the hook, try to get that 4K, or just pick up. Yeah, looks like we're actually trying to get our Jake as well. Sniff him out. Maybe he's over at Shack on the generator, or maybe he rotated for the pull. It's kind of hard to say. But Kopje, most likely Yeah, he is by the hook. Okay. So Kabji gonna be going back. Decisive strike not allowed in the Billy set, like I said, so we are going to be probably seeing maybe a tunnel out onto Moon, even if it was allowed, to be fair. We know everyone's build. We know what everyone is allowed, and we know that Moon is not our decisive strike survivor. So that will be a kill onto our second survivor. We are entering the 2v1, and Jake's location was known about 30, 40 seconds ago, so we probably have a good idea of where he is now. He has rotated for the pickup, both survivors in this area, and most likely Jake will be going down.
Yeah, win has been officially secured for Pain. We did sort of expect that result to come out, so I was fighting valiantly. 4K1, not a terrible result against Billy, but you do think the Cowshed is a lot more skewed towards the survivors, so maybe not as much as on a more standard Billy map, of course, but we're going to see his 4K map come out. Of course, big respect to Kobje for committing for the 4K, and again, playing really patient as well. Basically, playing this almost like there isn't a win con in mind, still committing for that 4K, committing to get every single ounce of value, because at that point, it becomes a scrim, right? You know, these are community nights, these aren't official matches. There will be a prize on the line, but of course, this isn't AHL.
Oh.
There's not going to be thousands and thousands of dollars on the line for these players, so might as well treat this as practice while they can. And despite Fell, as per usual, doing a fantastic job over a random pillar of all things, Kobje eventually going to break through that loop.
GG's. Very, very well played match by Kabji. Getting a 4K1, yeah, like you said on this map, kind of a difficult ask, even on a strong killer like Billy. He's strong, but he's definitely not as strong as Blight or anything like that, especially with the difficult shaped tiles on this map. Definitely possible to curve. We saw some good curves coming out from Kabji earlier, especially on that Paladin right there. There's a very good curve onto our ace earlier in the match. We are going to be just collecting our slugs, probably getting a Mori here if I had to guess. Yeah, there's the Mori to end off the game. And after this one, we are going to be going into a doctor set on the Wrecker's Yard, which we've seen a few times. I think one of the more common sets in the last couple